Estimados alumnos, buenas noches. Sean bienvenidos a un módulo más en su proceso académico, módulo de recursamiento. Es una segunda oportunidad que tendremos de aprobar este módulo 7. Y bueno, mi nombre es María Fernanda Prado Ibarra, voy a ser su facilitadora, asesora virtual, facilitadora durante estas 4 semanas en el módulo 7 recursamiento. Por disposición de nuestra coordinación académica, nuestra dirección académica, estas clases son en idioma inglés, sin embargo, bueno, podremos tener espacios en idioma español. Ustedes podrán preguntarme en el chat en YouTube cualquier inquietud que tengan, cualquier tema que no vaya quedando completamente claro, y lo podré también responder en el idioma español. Gracias, Cecilia, buenas noches. Perdón, Israel. Buenas noches, Israel. Gracias por acompañarme. Bueno, entonces cualquier situación que tengan, cualquier duda, cualquier inquietud, la pueden escribir en el chat, independientemente que al final de nuestra sesión tendremos un espacio para dudas que de igual forma podrá ser en idioma español. Y trataré de ir explicando muy puntualmente, paso a paso, todo lo que vamos a revisar en esta primera unidad y además cómo va a ser nuestra forma de trabajo, cómo va a ser el tema del módulo, cómo es esta estructura del módulo de recursamiento. Y bueno, tratar de dar un orden muy puntual a nuestra sesión de esta noche, ¿de acuerdo? Okay, so let's start. I have some slides for you for our session tonight. Okay, so like I said, my name, María Fernanda Prado Ibarra. This is our Model 7, My Life in Another Language. This is a second chance to approve our Model 7. And I've been a facilitator, a virtual advisor facilitator for almost 4 years, giving models 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 from Prepa Online SEP. So hopefully to be very helpful for you through this model 7. So this is our first synchronous session. Our group, as you already noticed the numbers, model 7, this is block B. REC, because it's the second chance, so for model 7, recourse, okay, and this is about the date that start the model, 5 October 5 of 2020, and the consecutive group number 2. And our ordinary period, or the period from this recourse, is from October 5 to November 1st of 2020. So the form purpose of the model is that you understand and produce oral and written text about your reality, your past life, and your goals in different situations. So, like you already noticed in this part, we're going to review grammarly notions about present, present continuous, past, past continuous, and future. Okay, so we're going to review three grammatical aspects of the English language, okay? So 3 grammatical topics in the English language. So in this first week, we're going to review Unit 1 and Unit 2. They are titled, What Are You Doing and Where Were You Learning? In these first units, we're going to be able to share personal information, orally and writing, about work, school, and recreation circumstances that are happening in the present. And we will be able to request and compare information orally and in writing about one or more events at a specific time in the past. Okay, so in this first week, we're going to review present continuous and past continuous. Okay, and of course, to achieve these goals or these reviews in these units, we will apply grammar notions and correct vocabulary to express the moments of the actions. So the order of our session tonight, we're going to review the object of this session, the characteristics of this model, of this second chance of our Model 7. We're going to talk about also the structure of our Model 7, about the activities and the evaluations. We're going to check the performance indicators of week 1, of course. We're going to check very precisely the 4 must review and a recording tutorial to do our integrative activities. We're going to talk about strategies to improve our participation in this model. I'm going to give you some contact information about myself, our technological advisor, and our supervisor, additional resources, and finally a space for doubts. So the object of our session tonight is that we're going to review the performance indicators of week 1 for the correct development of the assigned activities with the support of examples and tutorials, as well as providing general suggestions for the right start of our Model 7. So this is a new opportunity, yes, this is a recourse of our Model 7, and the characteristics of this model is that they are only 4 in 1 year. The course lasts 4 weeks, yes, the same as longest as will be an ordinary period or an ordinary model, okay, just 4 weeks also. We can only be in one model at a time, okay, because you're not going to be able to course this Model 7 in the recourse model, in the recourse modality, and other model in the ordinary period, okay, so just one at a time. We have 3 times per model. You only have 3 opportunities to approve this kind of modality of the models, and you're here because your grade in the recovery period was less than 50 points. Okay, so this is the general characteristics of this Model 7 in this second chance. Okay, the structure of our Model 7, like in the ordinary models, we have the activities, 2 integrative activities per week. They value the 7% of the total of the model, each one. And we also have the integrative project in the last week, in week 4, that values the 30% of the total of the model. We have the integrative forum, also in week 4, that values according to a rubric, and it values, of course, the 8% of the total of the model. We have the self-assessment in the last week that values the 5%. And we have the social-emotional activities. We have 2 of them in week 2 and in week 4, and it values the 10% of the total of the model. And we have the play activity in the platform, okay? Everything you do in the platform, like the learning forum, like the form activities, the form exercises, and when you check all the topics, all the research in the platform, that counts for the activity in the platform, for this 5%. And what about the evaluation of the structure of the model? As you know here, we are watching a table that shows us. Good night, Ilse. Thank you for joining me tonight. Good night. We have a chart here in Spanish that shows us the time that I have for you to evaluate and feedback your integrative activities, okay? So if you deliver on Monday, that limited time to feedback you and evaluate your integrative activities, it will be from 2 days, 72 hours, okay? But I want to tell you in this part that I really value your effort, because I know we do several activities in our daily days, yes, because we are part of a family, we work very hard, okay? This is not just the only activity we do, just the academic topic. We do other activities in our life. So I value your effort a lot, and I like to work with you in a very punctual way of the delivery of your integrative activities, okay? So I'm going to give you evaluation and feedback 24 hours after you send your integrative activities to the platform, okay? So why I do this in 24 hours between you send your integrative activities? Because I want you to really work hard, to work in a very disciplined way, and of course this will be very helpful to detect some areas of opportunity, some technical issues, maybe with the recordings, or maybe just in general with the documents, with the files. We can detect any area of opportunity when we deliver on time, on a very punctual way. So I encourage you, I invite you to deliver your interactive activities from Monday to Friday. Okay, so you will be very in touch with me and you will be watching me giving you these evaluations and feedbacks 24 hours after you send your interactive activities. Okay, so I invite you to do this. Thank you, Ilse. I invite you to do this, to deliver your interactive activities from Monday to Friday, please. Okay. So the performance indicators of this first week is, as you know, we have 2 interactive activities for this first week. They titled Dancing at the Mulan and Meanwhile. That I'm going to review in a minute. We have the social emotional activity 13 that titles Aplicó lo aprendido. We have the form activities, what are they doing and what were you doing when. We have the form exercises, we have 9 of them, 9. Okay, remember that all the form exercises, all the activities counts for the 5% of the total of the model. Okay, so please do them, and of course also they are helpful to strain the knowledge of the topics, the grammatical reviews that we saw in each unit. Okay, so please do them. And they title Jeron, what are they doing in their free time, where were you learning, WH questions, when and while, comparatives and superlatives, prepositions, what are they doing and what were you doing when. Okay, all of these are in the platform. Okay, so let's go then to the tutorial time, because we're going to review the integrative activities. We'll also talk about how to go to the first. Okay, then first, let's talk about this infographic that I shared already in the news forum in the platform. I used to work in this way, making an infographic on a very executive way, in a very quick way, because I try to do it in one page to give you my suggestions for the development of the integrative activities or all the performance indicators of each unit. Okay, so I share with you this infographic in English but also in Spanish, and it's located in the news forum. You can check it, you can find it as Suggestions Week 1 English, Suggestions Week 1 Spanish. Okay, so here I explain to you in a very quick way, in a very general way, the purpose of the activities of this first week, that they can share, you can share, and request oral and written information about work, school, and daily circumstances that are happening at the moment of speaking and in the past, to interact with other people in different contexts. Okay, so I'm talking already here in interactive activity number 1, Dancing at the Mulan, in which we will practice writing and pronunciation in English to present personal information orally and in writing about current work, school, and daily events. Okay, so I suggest to check the resourcing platform in week 1, vocabulary as 1, simple present, present continuous, and asking information. This will be very useful to write the request information. Download the file that we're going to check it in a minute, and the recordings. Okay, how we're going to record the time here, our voice, sorry, for the interactive activities. I recommend using Buckaroo, that we're going to check a tutorial in a minute. You can use also an application that calls voice capture in your cell phone. You can use the sound recorder or Windows. You can use your recording in WhatsApp. Okay, you can use anything you want. Okay, and I'm going to share also an infographic in Spanish that I'm going to explain and show you in a minute too, on how to save the recording and share it correctly to obtain or to gain the link, okay, with the necessary permissions and everything. I'm going to explain in a minute. And interactive activity number 2, Meanwhile, in which we will learn to request and compare information orally and in writing about one or more events at a specific time in the past. So I suggest we can check the resourcing platform in week 1, time expressions, prepositions of time, and what was happening when you. Okay, so we're going to check it in a minute also. The social emotional activity 13, we have to identify, know, and manage our emotions. So no document is delivered in this first week, where we must complete the exercise and reading the lecture that is there in the platform, okay? And we have the learning forum for this first week, in which we will enrich the learning with different questions. I'm going to guide this space every day, and we will going to practice and sharing some examples on how to practice the English language, okay? Like for example, currently, to improve my grammar skills in written form, I use an application called Grammarly, with which I practice my writing in English every day. This application is free and you can download it in your phone, grammarly.com. Okay? So I'm going to share every day some examples on how to participate in this learning forum. To the first integrative activity. Dancing at the Mulan. Okay, so you're going to download the file, this pre-file that is already in the platform in the instructions of the activity, and you're going to notice that we're going to talk about a painting that is called Dance at the Mill of the Galette, okay? So this painting, we're going to describe this painting that we already have here some letters to identify what we're going to ask later in our integrative activity, okay? So in the English language, when we're going to talk about, we want to talk about actions that are taking place right now. We don't use simple present, we use present continuous, okay? In the English language, we use present continuous to talk about actions that are taking place right now, okay? And for that, to construct these sentences in the present continuous, I have to use our pronouns. Our pronouns I, he, she, it, we, you, they. And the verb to be that join the pronouns, it will be in present. For I, it will be am. For he, she, it, it will be is. For we, you, they, it will be are. Okay, so I am, for example. And we use the verb and we add the ending ing to the end of the verb. Yes, like ando, yendo, we use it in Spanish. We use it also in English to talk about actions that are taking place right now. Okay, so we must check the research in the platform in week 1 titled the gerund to identify how we can check our verbs, we can change our verbs with the ing. But normally we have our regular verbs that we just add the ing, like in these ones, okay? Like in the example, I am studying right now. He is driving. We are dancing, or they are dancing. They are drinking, okay? They are talking. So this is the way we form the present continuous in the English language, okay? So let's go then. They ask me to answer the following questions. What is happening in the picture? Okay, we have to describe what is happening in the painting using the structure of the present continuous. Remember, in Model 6 we use there are to describe in plural where something is located or to talk about something. And we use there is in singular, okay? We already saw this part in Model 6, but like in the example that I'm using here to answer this question, it will be like this. In the picture, there are men and women dancing, okay? At the square or the park. In the picture also, there are some men drinking and women talking, okay? So the complement of our sentences could be very different, but the structure of the present continuous must be like this, okay? We use the pronouns, yes. We use the verb to be, are in this case, are, because I'm talking in plural, are, and our verb with the ing ending, okay? So this is the present continuous. The next question. What is the woman and the man doing? What are they wearing? The man and the woman are dancing. Okay, once again, verb to be in plural because I'm talking about many people, man and woman. They are dancing. My verb is with the ing ending. Okay, they are wearing formal clothes. Here is my structure in the present continuous. They are wearing formal clothes. The woman is wearing, I changed my verb to be is because I'm talking about she. Okay, the woman is wearing a long dress and the man is wearing a hat and a tuxedo or a suit. Okay, so I use my verb to be with my pronouns and my verb with the ing. The very important thing in the grammatical notions with the rubric is to give complete answers using the structure of the present continuous. Okay, so this is very important according to the rubric. The next one, what is the man with hat next to the tree doing? Okay, so the letter V. The man next to the tree is talking to the woman that are next to him. Okay, remember also that in Module 6 we saw preposition someone is located. Okay, like next to is a preposition to indicate that the man is very near, yes, to the tree and is talking to the woman that are next to him. Okay, so we're using just a little of prepositions. What are the girl and the woman doing? What do you think they are talking about? The girl and the woman are talking. I think they are talking about the music, maybe. Okay, is that I'm using the structure of the present continuous. What are the two women and the man doing? What do you think they are talking about? Yes, the same structure for the answer. And what are the two men at the table doing? The man at the table are drinking. One of them is smoking. Okay, so I'm using my verb to be in simple form, simple present, and my verb with the ing ending. Write two questions that you will ask to the characters. Okay, just two of them. Okay, so how to construct the questions in the English language using my present continuous too. So the first thing is that we already saw the question words. Yes, remember the question words? What, where, when. So I'm using in this case what? What kind of music are you listening to? And of course I used my verb to be in present, like we already saw, are, yes. My personal pronoun or subject. Yes, I'm talking about many people, so are. And the simple form of the verb with the ing. Okay, so the same structure. What kind of music are you listening to? And of course also, this is a very recurrent area of opportunity. We use in the English language one question mark, just one, at the end of the question. Okay, just one question mark. And the next question that I show you, like an example, what are you going to do, after the party is over? Yes, what are you going to do after the party is over? So I'm using what as a question word, okay? Or when the party is going to finish, to over, okay, for example. Next part and the last part of our interactive activity ask me that I have to record a voice message to describe what is happening in the painting. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I'm going to explain to a friend how to describe this painting. Okay, what I'm saying in this moment. So please don't read the questions and the answers. Just try to explain what is happening in the painting to an imaginary friend, okay? And please consider that the limited time of a recording, according to the rubric, it won't be more than 1 minute and 30 seconds, okay? So please notice this part because it's a thing that is penalized according to the rubric if you exceed the time of the recording, okay? So please don't read it, just try to explain what you saw here. You don't have to read the question and read the answer. ¿Una pregunta de esta primera actividad? Okay, so let's go to the tutorial of the recording. Let's go to the internet, okay, another browser. So Buckaroo, it's a web page, it's a free web page. You don't have to sign with an account, you don't need a user, you don't need a password, you don't need anything because it's a web page, it's a free web page. So you just have to place down in the browser in the internet, and just like this, buckaroo.com, you're going to Google it and they're going to redirect to this page, okay? So like this, Buckaroo. If it's the first time you sign in here or you go to the web page, it's going to ask you to be able the permissions to PDF and from your microphone, of course. So please accept this part to the microphone, check the levels of your microphone, of the recordings, to really record in a very clear way, in a very clear and loud way, okay? So Buckaroo is just like this. You just have one red button, you're going to click right down here and going to record right now. Okay, so this is the painting dancing at the Mulan. I'm going to share with you a woman dancing and chatting. Some people are drinking. One of them is talking and one of them are smoking too. They are having a party. They're having fun. Okay. Sorry. Just like that, I click once again in the red button and I already have my recording. If I am satisfied with my recording, I'm going to click in guardar y compartir. But if I'm not ready, I'm not comfortable with my recording, I'm going to click in once again in the red button to make another recording. Okay, so let's pretend we are very happy with our recording, and we're going to click in guardar and compartir. So just like that, Buckaroo gives me a link to share. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste my new link and I'm going to go right to my integrative activity and I'm going to place it right here. Okay, so once again I have my link here in my integrative activity. If I want to make sure if the recording it's correct, I'm going to go again to the internet, place it in another browser, in Google or wherever you want, copy and paste, click again. Sorry, didn't go where. Once again. Yes, and I have my recording again. So that's going to here. Okay, so this is the painting dancing at the Mulan. I'm going to share with you what I saw in the painting. I saw many people, where we saw men and women dancing and chatting. Some people are drinking. One of them is talking and one of them are smoking too. They are having a party. They're having fun. Okay, so there is a recording. Okay, it's very simple. You don't have to save your file in the Drive or the Gmail or the Dropbox. You don't have to upload your file to anything more. Okay, you just go to Buckaroo and the link, and it gives you the link directly. Okay, so it's very easy, it's very friendly, it's very easy. Okay, so I really recommend using Buckaroo for your recordings. It's really very simple. Okay, until here of the recording, Cecilia and Ilse, do you have a question? Okay then, so let's go to the integrative activity number 2, meanwhile. Okay, so the second integrative activity for this first week, it's titled Meanwhile. And we're going to practice the past continuous in the English language. So we use the past continuous to talk about actions that took place in the past or start in the past, continue, but were interrupted. Okay, so that is why we use the past continuous in the English language. And how we're going to construct our sentences in the past continuous. We are going to use our pronouns I, he, she, it, we, you, they. We're going to use our verb to be, but in past. Okay, so for I it will be was, for he, she, it was, and for we, you, they were. So the verb to be is in past. We use the verb, and we also going to add to the end of our verb the ing form. Okay, so once again we have to check the resource in the platform, the gerund. So this is the way we construct the past continuous, and we use, gracias Cecilia, and we use the past continuous to talk about actions that took place in the past or start in the past, continue, but were interrupted for something. So to practice the past continuous in the English language, we're going to pretend that we are in a theft. Okay, a theft, remember when someone interrupts in our house, hopefully not, but when someone arrives to our house to make a robbery, okay, to take something that it's not from them, it's from us. So that's a theft, okay? And for that, we're going to practice the past continuous because we're going to describe these actions that begin in the past, continue, but were interrupted. So this step, it will be very helpful to practice the past continuous. So the first section in the integrative activity asks me that I have to answer the following questions. The theft occurred between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. What were you doing when the thieves were stealing your neighbor's house? Mention 3 consecutive activities. Yours first, after, that, and then. Remember that in Model 6 we use the adverbs of time. Okay, the adverbs of time are these. We saw how to use the adverbs of time. Okay, so we're going to explain what we were doing when the thieves were stealing the neighbor's house, and we use the adverbs of time to describe what happened first, what happened after, and what happened at the end. Okay, so I have to answer 3 actions. First, I was taking a shower. Once again, I'm using past continuous, so pronoun I, verb to be in past, was, and our verb with the ending ing. First, I was taking a shower. Or, I can say, first, I was watching TV. After that, I was doing my homework. I was playing cards. Then, I was throwing the garbage. Okay, so the important thing, according to the rubric, to this integrative activity, is that I use the adverbs of time, and of course I use the structure of the past continuous. Okay, so the complement of the structure of the sentences, it could be anything. Okay, but the important thing is that I have to construct my sentence using the verb to be in past and my verb with the ing, and of course using the adverbs of time. Okay, first, after, and then. Next question. What were you doing from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. today? Mention 3 consecutive activities using first, after, that, and then. Okay, the same as we already saw here. we're going to use the adverbs of time to describe 3 consecutive activities. 3 consecutive activities. Okay? Good. Section C. Who do you live with? What were they doing before, during, and after the theft? Mention 3 persons and 2 activities of each one. Okay? This is very important because it's a very recurrent area of opportunity that we skip or we miss, that we have to write down 2 activities per person. Okay? So I have to describe my husband, my son, and my brother. 3 persons, 2 activities per each one. Okay? It doesn't matter if you live by yourself, if you live alone. It doesn't matter because it's an exercise. We have to pretend or imagine that we have some people in our house. It could be a friend, it could be a roomie, it could be anything you want, okay? Because we're going to do this part just to practice the actions, okay? So remember the vocabulary of the family members that we already saw in Model 6, yes? But we can use my husband, my son, my grandfather, my grandmother, my brother-in-law, for example, my cousin, okay? So we're going to describe the activities in the same structure of the past continuous. My husband was watching TV. My husband was reading a book. My son was brushing his teeth. My son was sleeping in the couch. My brother was doing his homework. My brother was running in the street, for example, okay? So always using was because I'm talking about he. In this case, they're all men, okay? So I'm using was and our verb with the ing ending. Watching, brushing, sleeping, running, baking, okay? So all our verbs with the ing. Hola Pigo, buenas noches, gracias por acompañarme. Si tienen alguna duda, por favor no duden en escribirme en español y podremos comentar de la misma manera, okay? So the next section of the section 2 of interactive activity asks me that I have to write down 3 questions that you will ask to your neighbor, okay? So how I'm going to construct my questions in this part. Same structure what we already saw in the interactive activity. You can also use did because we're talking about past, okay? So for example, what were you doing before the theft? Same thing, I'm using were because I'm talking about in plural, and my verb to be is in past. Sorry, this is incorrect. Here is a verb to be in past. My personal pronoun subject and the simple verb with the ing. Okay. What were you doing before the theft? Did you call the police? Okay. What were you doing at the time of the theft, for example? Or when do you think the thieves run, for example, okay? So this is the part of the questions. And the final part, I have 2 answers. So I have to record the answers to the questions the police officers ask me, section 1A and B, and the questions you ask to your neighbor, section 2. Okay, all interactive activity actually. And consider that the recording must be no more than 1 minute and 30 seconds, okay? Because the rubric penalizes if you exceed the time of the recordings, okay? Okay, so until here you have a question of interactive activities. Good. So let's go to the infographic. I'm going to share with you this infographic in the news forum in a minute or maybe tomorrow at first hour in the morning. I'm going to upload this infographic that is in Spanish. This infographic was made by a tutor, Juan Manuel Castillo Orona, which I work in the other models. And I like it because it's very simple, very structured, and very clear, step by step, how we're going to make sure that we are going to upload correctly the recordings to Google Drive or Dropbox, and that we are generating the link correctly with the necessary permissions. Okay, so this infographic is very important because it's a very recurrent area of opportunity that you record, that you make your recordings, but you don't share it with the necessary permissions. So when you upload to the platform the integrative activity with the link, and I copy and paste to the browser the link of your recordings, I can't hear them because it asked me for some permissions on Drive or the Gmail, okay, from the Gmail. So this is a very important part. That's why I considered to share this infographic that is in Spanish to explain to you step by step how to do this. If you're going to use Buckaroo, you don't have to go to this infographic step by step, because in Buckaroo you generate the link directly, okay, so you don't have to make sure of this part. But if you are going not to use Buckaroo, if you use voice recording, you use voice capture, or any other application that makes you to save your file or Dropbox or whatever to gain the link, you have to make sure of these steps, okay? So you have to have an account of Gmail. You have to locate your file, that maybe it's always in the music section because it's a recording. And the part that you have to be very careful is this one. Once you upload the file to the Drive or from the Gmail, it's going to explain it's going to show you a window like this one that is going to ask you if someone with the link could see, or whatever with the link could see, or you can check with my personal email. You can click on there, so just me in my personal email, I can check it, I can hear it, okay? But it's very easy, it's better for me and for us if you choose this section that with whoever takes the link can hear the recording, okay? So this is the section, this is the part that you must be very careful to. Everyone with the link can hear your recording, okay? So tomorrow at first hour in the morning, I'm going to upload this infographic in the news forum that is in Spanish, okay? Very good. So let's continue with the slides, because I'm going to talk to you about how to improve your participation in this Model 7, okay? Because this is a second chance to approve this Model 7, because I'm going to do a recourse, and this is very important to explain. So how to really approve the model, okay? So I have to tell you that it's very important to organize your time. Please avoid to deliver your integrative activities until the end of the platform of each week. I know we have so many activities to do in the day, but it's not necessary correctly, because at the end of the week, on Sundays at night, it could be in the platform with so many users in the same time. We can have some technical issues. We can have some problems with the recording, with the internet, with the light. Any problem can happen at the end of the week, okay? So please avoid deliver your integrative activities at Sunday night. So organize your time. Check the rubrics. The rubrics are in Spanish. You know, I just can't evaluate your integrative activities according to the rubric. So if you read them, they are in Spanish. You can really understand what I'm talking about, how I'm going to evaluate, what are the aspects that I'm going to evaluate about your integrative activities, okay? So check the rubrics. Make punctual deliveries, I already said that. Participate in the forums, in the learning forum and in the integrative forum of the last week. The learning forums are important because they count from the 5% of the activity in the platform, and they enrich the knowledge of the topics of each unit. but we already count for the participation in the platform, so they are important. Do the form exercises because also count from the total of the platform, and special attention to the integrative project when we arrive to the last week, because it values the 30% of the total of the module. So it's very important to deliver it on time and with the specifics of the rubric of this integrative project, okay? So remember that all the activity you do counts to the automatic participation in the platform and for your academic process, okay? So what about the additional resources for this first week? I recommend this English grammar website that includes exercises and description of rules in present simple and present continuous. You already have these links in the news forum and in the learning forum of this first week. I also recommend a video from Oxford English that explains the difference between while and meanwhile and how to use them. It's a video on YouTube. An application of the English language also that is called Grammarly.com. We already talk about this part in the learning forum. It's completely free. It will help you to correct and to write properly. It's not a translator. It's an application to really improve your writing in the English language, and it's free, okay? And also, it's a text reader with voice that calls ttsreader.com. It's a web page. I really recommend it because this is a very good way to practice our pronunciation in the English language. I'm going to go actually there. Let's go very quickly because it's a web page that is free also, and we can use it to practice the pronunciation. You can write down, helpful for us according to practice the recordings for the integrative activities, okay? So like in this sentence, I'm 26 years old, I live in Mexico, for example.
I am 26 years old. I live in Mexico.
Okay, so we can practice really hearing the pronunciation and maybe repeating and repeating and repeating. We have to practice the English language, okay? So it's very helpful, the TTS reader, to use it in this first week and the other weeks in the English language for this Module 7. The contact information, this is the email also. Some of you already contact me with some issues from the password of the platform that you remember. Don't you remember the name or the password to join the platform? So you can use this Jose Alberto Garcia Mendoza, and also the email from Prepa Jose Alberto Garcia Mendoza, and also the email from Prepa Online. And the thing is that we already have a tutor also, Miguel. Sorry that I didn't catch the information here, but we're going to also have a tutor for this module. It's not very common to have a tutor from these modules in the second opportunity, but in this time we're going to use the helpful for our tutor Miguel. I'm going to share the contact information later for you. Also, this is a space for doubts. Voy a comentar algunas dudas que he estado recibiendo en el mensajero de la plataforma. Sobre todo lo que decía hace un momento, que algunos de ustedes me han contactado con temas para poder ingresar a la plataforma, que no recuerdan su usuario. Como este es un módulo de recursamiento, entonces a lo mejor ya están muy avanzados en otros módulos y el regresarse pues ya están casi por terminar y hay que cursar este módulo antes de salir. Entonces algunos de ustedes ya no recuerdan contraseñas, usuarios, etc. Entonces hay que contactarse al tema de soporte técnico con nuestro nombre completo, lo que estamos cursando en este momento, para que nos puedan generar un usuario y una contraseña nuevos, ¿no? Dependiendo de qué es lo que no recordemos. Y con esto pues ellos se pondrán en contacto con nosotros. Otras de las dudas que he recibido, bueno, el tema así del usuario es lo más recurrente. El tema recursamiento, pues bueno, que saben que este es un módulo especial. En esta ocasión sí tendremos un tutor. No es muy común, por eso decía que no tenía los datos ahorita aquí a la mano. Me acabo de dar cuenta que sí hay tutor en este módulo, se llama Miguel, y que bueno, también nos va a estar apoyando en estas 4 semanas. También algunos de ustedes ya me han contactado con el tema del audio. La rúbrica sí penaliza por exceder del tiempo, entonces es importante que cuidemos la duración. Obviamente si se pasan por 1 segundo, 3 segundos, bueno, pues no es demasiado, no pasa nada. Pero sí hay que tener cuidado con esta parte porque además puede ser muy pesado el audio y no podríamos subirlo. Utilicen Bucarú, si no, por favor hay que seguir la infografía de cómo hacer paso a paso para poder generar esta liga y que sea con los permisos necesarios. Es un tema muy recurrente de área de oportunidad y bueno, eso es como lo más recurrente en preguntas que sucede en el módulo, ¿sí? Saben que yo voy a estar... otra de las preguntas recurrentes también es que, bueno, como el módulo es en inglés, las comunicaciones son en inglés, si ustedes me escriben en plataforma o en mi correo personal en idioma español, yo también voy a responder en idioma español, no se preocupen, ¿sí? Pero si ustedes también me escriben en inglés, también voy a responder en inglés. Pero todas las comunicaciones en foro, en plataforma, los mensajes generales, etcétera, pues espacio en español, como lo estoy comentando en este momento. Pero bueno, estaremos muy en contacto, responderé sus dudas dentro de las 24 horas. Antes las contesto, estoy en contacto directo. Siéntanse libres de comunicarse conmigo, ¿sí? Mi horario en plataforma ya se los compartí también, pero normalmente estoy de lunes a viernes de 9 de la mañana a 11 de la mañana, los sábados de 10 de la mañana a 1 de la tarde y los domingos de 8 de la noche a 11 de la noche. Entonces, pero de todas maneras estoy en contacto siempre con ustedes, pueden escribirme en cualquier momento y yo responderé sus dudas de manera inmediata. Les agradezco por acompañarme, no sé si tengan alguna duda. Cecilia, Ilse y Pigo, gracias por acompañarme en esta noche. Seguimos en contacto, no desperdicien esta oportunidad de aprobar el módulo 7. Yo estaré muy de la mano con ustedes para poder lograr que de manera satisfactoria puedan aprobar este módulo 7 de recursamiento. Esta sesión queda grabada, la liga la tienen en el foro de novedades, en el calendario de la plataforma y también en el mensajero que acabo de enviar a cada uno de ustedes la liga directa para que puedan consultar la sesión en el momento que lo consideren, esperando que sea de utilidad todo lo que acabamos de platicar y sigo en contacto. Muchas gracias, Cecilia. Have a very good night. Thank you.